Hey guys, Nozzle here, and today we're back from a YouTube video. Today we're going to be talking about Bowser from the Super Mario Bros. Series versus Dr. Eggman from the Sonic the Hedgehog series. If you're going to enjoy this video, then make sure to like, subscribe. This was quite a complicated one to just basically put together, due to how many, machines and weapons Dr. Eggman has, but also the sheer amount of ways that you could scale both characters. So I'll provide my thought process going through it and basically give all my evidence here so then you can come to a decision basically. I'll also come to my own conclusion obviously, but basically, I'm providing what I've found here. So yeah, let's just get into it. When it comes to strength and attack potency for Bowser, he's often shown to be physically stronger than Mario, who's capable of hurting him, which means that his durability should scale to his strength. His best durability feat in the normal timeline, we'll get to that, is being able to survive falling into a machine which could tear apart the universe, and Bowser did this while fatigued. This means that he's bare minimum, universal. He can be argued multiversal if you say that the worlds in Mario have boundless pits and that's not hyperbole at all, and you could argue that's multiversal, but again, if you think it is hyperbole, then he would just be universal. That said, however, Mario could possibly scale to Paper Mario, and while they are canonically two different characters, in crossover games they're shown to be comparable to each other. This is important because Mario could fight a being called Super Dimension, who is going to destroy all universes, timelines, and possible futures in the Marioverse, therefore making him, bare minimum, multiversal. You could argue complex multiversal as well, if you think that each world individually is infinite in size. But this means that Bowser should scale from, higher than universal to multiversal depending on what you take. As for Dr. Eggman, meanwhile, he has a lot to go through, so I'll cover the important / iconic ones. To start off with, by himself, Dr. Eggman is capable of physically smashing through ice walls, therefore making him bare minimum wall level. The Egg Robo was designed to be on the same level as base Metal Sonic, who scales to Shadow, who fought Emerald, who utilised the power of the Chaos Emeralds, which can output a blast of equal to 32.12 tenatons of TNT, or enough to destroy small stars. The Death Egg Robot should also scale to this due to being able to fight base Classic Sonic, who could also fight base Chaos, who also scales to this. Metal Sonic in his strongest form could fight Super Sonic, who could fight Solaris, who is going to destroy all timelines past, present, and future, therefore making him multiversal. The Super Egg Robot could also briefly restrain Super Sonic, which also means that he should somewhat scale to that too, and the Egg Wizard could fuse two universes together. The Egg Salamander could do the same as well. This means that Eggman's greater weapons that he's made should scale between multiple times universal to multiversal, depending on how much you think he was able to restrain Super Sonic. You could also give Dr. Eggman access to Time Eater, but technically he never created Time Eater, he just kind of controlled him briefly, although I'll go over in the conclusion what happens if you bring him into it. So basically, if you go with their highest end feats, Bowser can be scaled higher than Dr. Eggman. Bowser, of course, is way stronger than most of Eggman's utility. However, Eggman's more powerful, abilities, or just, I guess, weapons, or more concretely multiversal, although, as I said, there are evidence suggesting that, Bowser is multiversal. So I would argue that, at most, that their strength is basically tied, although, again, you can argue one way or the other as to who's stronger. When it comes to speed for Bowser, he should somewhat scale to Mario, who is capable of travelling between worlds and outright reacting to things flying at him between said worlds. To fly between worlds in Mario, you should be moving through space-time, and seeing that in certain games Mario does this through sheer speed, you can argue then that Mario has immeasurable speed due to being able to run through space-time, and this should obviously apply to Bowser as well. As for Dr. Eggman, his strongest creations are capable of keeping up with Super Sonic. Super Sonic was able to keep up with Solaris, who has temporal omnipresence and has attacks that fly through all of space and time, and Super Sonic is able to react and dodge them, meaning that Dr. Eggman's strongest machines should also have at least some level of immeasurable speed as well, and of course his much weaker machines scale to base Sonic, who is much slower than Super Sonic. And when it comes to, who's faster faster. Bowser and Eggman should be relative in terms of at their peak. However, Eggman's weaker, weapons and, abilities to move around in, he should be much slower. As for durability, we've already went over the fact that Bowser could survive a machine which could tear apart the universe while fatigued. We've also already went over why this makes him at least universal and possibly multiversal. If you argue that Paper Mario scaling also, works in with this, then he should also be able to tank attacks from Super Dimensional, whose bare minimum multiversal is already went over, and possibly complex multiversal if you use the same logic that takes the previous feat to multiversal from universal. His shell is also more durable than him as well, so if he hides in his shell, then he's even more durable. As for Dr. Eggman and all of his machines, including himself, should all relatively scale to the power output they're able to create due to being able to fight and take attacks from characters like base Classic Sonic or Super Sonic, depending on which machine it is. So it's basically the same situation with the attack potency, where I'd say it's a tie. However, you can argue that either one of them is more durable than the other. Although you could argue that Bowser's shell is more durable than anything that Dr. Eggman has. When it comes to abilities, weaponry and techniques, and Bowser has a lot, so I'll go through it as quick as I can. Firstly, he has immortality, as he can survive as just a skeleton, even still move around, or even just losing his entire physical form. He has regeneration, as he can survive being completely blown to smithereens and come back from that. He has possible longevity, as he's stated capable of ruling the universe for 10,000 years. He has underwater breathing and self-sustenance due to being able to breathe in space and underwater. He's skilled in hand-to-hand combat. He's a weapons master. He has vehicular mastery. He has natural weaponry. He can break the fourth wall. He has minor toon force and elasticity due to being able to survive being completely flattened and being able to recover immediately. Bowser, despite coming off as dumb, is also somewhat of a genius. He can make himself into the size of a castle. He has black magic. He has a casualty, being able to interact and attack his baby self with no repercussions. He has breath attack. He has fire manipulation, including homing attacks. There are fireballs, intangible fireballs, and magma fireballs. He has earth manipulation, magma manipulation, electricity manipulation, air manipulation, weather manipulation, acrobatics in some way, especially being able to perform mid kicks and mid-air. He can fly, especially with his clown car. He has non-physical interaction, being able to attack the soul of Elder Princess Shroob. He has attack reflection with his spiny shell. He has summoning, he has teleportation, he has telekinesis, he has telepathy, being able to communicate with people across different dimensions. He has extrasensory perception and clairvoyance, being able to sense and watch Mario enter Peach's castle from another dimension. He has dimensional travel / time travel, being able to warp through space and time decades into the past. He has energy manipulation, energy projection, size manipulation, being able to shrink his targets down and also increase his own size. He has poison manipulation, being able to create a thick fog of poison around his opponents. His teeth and claws are also naturally poisonous. He has darkness manipulation, curse manipulation, body control, being able to control the spikes in his shell. He has body puppetry, being able to control his target's movements. He has surface scaling, he can get stronger with rage. He can exist as some level of intangible star energy. He has BFR, being able to forcibly bring his targets into several different locations. He has power nullification through, just taking the abilities and the attacks from someone else. He has shockwave generation, he has transmutation, being able to turn the toads into bricks. He has sealing, being able to seal everyone in Peach's castle within the walls themselves. He can fuse dice together, he can create large towers. He has after image creation, force field creation, weapons creation, portal creation, can create minimal illusions, being able to create illusionary copies of his attacks. He has transformation, being able to turn his body into metal. He has paralysis inducement, fear inducement, statistics reduction, being able to cut his opponent's strength and defense in half. He has self-perception manipulation, being able to slow down his perception of time to the point where everything seems stopped. He has matter manipulation. He has plot manipulation, forcing himself into a part of the story he wasn't in. He has gravity manipulation for himself and for other people. He has spatial manipulation, being able to turn a small flight of stairs into an endless distance. He has life force absorption, being able to absorb large amounts of target's life force to heal himself. He has reality warping and pocket dimension manipulation, being able to turn Yoshi's Island into a storybook dimension, basically. With the clown car, he has space flight, petrification, and light manipulation. as he's able to unleash a large flash of light which turns anyone caught in it to stone. He has life manipulation, being able to create sentient life forms in Combat Mario. He has water manipulation and duplication, as he created a bubble machine which can seal away islands. He has dark matter manipulation. He has space-time manipulation and reality warping on a universal scale. He has existence erasure, as the power stars are comprised of many stars which are capable of erasing physical bodies of the opponents. He has statistics amplification, being able to make himself stronger. He has invulnerability, as he's able to make himself impervious to damage. He has aura, he has healing, he has biological manipulation, he has life manipulation. He has enhanced reality warping with the star rod, being able to grant the user's wishes. He has resistance to sleep manipulation and time stop. He has resistance to cosmic energy manipulation, ice manipulation, water manipulation. He has true flight, he has enhanced gravity manipulation, and even more space-time and reality warping and pocket dimension manipulation. He can also amplify his damage with energizers, power blasts, hot sauces, and mighty tonics. He can reduce the damage taken with bracers and other such items. He can heal himself with various different types of items such as mushrooms, peachy beaches, and big eggs. He has purification with able juices. He's able to negate the effects of sleep, poison, transmutation, status effects reduction, power nullification, fear, dimensional BFR, time slowing down, reversed movements, increased gravity, sickness, dizziness, and rage. He can resurrect himself and others with the pick-me-up items. He has invisibility and intangibility, as he's able to interact with characters such as ghosts. He has ice manipulation via ice bombs and ice storms. He has sleep manipulation via sleepy bombs. He has explosion manipulation via boomer. He has size shifting via dotty. He has information analysis and extrasensory perception or Tripton. He has mind manipulation with music keys. He has empathic manipulation also with music keys. He has Broadway force and music keys. He has duplication with double cherries. He has soul manipulation and sealing with catch cards. Spatial flipping with fleep. Time stop with time stop and stopwatch. He also has shape shifting with the Megamorphit Bell. He also has dream manipulation, as he has power over dreams and can manipulate all of the dream worlds, making dreams into reality. He has corruption, as the effects of the black ooze worked on everyone throughout the cat world. He has reactive evolution. He has accelerated development. He has invulnerability negation and durability negation via black ooze, which is capable of harming Big Mario despite the fact he had a star which has himself invulnerable. He has platform creation, being able to create platforms, funnily enough. He has passive mind manipulation and corruption with black ooze. He has portal creation. He has adhesive manipulation. He's able to slow down Giga Cat Mario. He's also got levitation. He's got shape shifting, and he also has resistances to extreme heat and cold. He has resistance to radiations and cosmic radiations. He has resistance to darkness manipulation, air manipulation, transmutation, black holes, gravity manipulation, soul manipulation and sealing, sleep inducement, mind manipulation, possession, void manipulation, and existence erasure. He also has a ton of weapons as well, such as the Koopa Clown car and the several hammers he has on hand, and this entire list, and can also summon characters such as King Boo, King Babom, all to him as well. As for Eggman, meanwhile, he has flight via a jetpack in the Eggmobile. He has gas projection via the Eggmobile. He has energy manipulation via a laser gun. He has resistance to time manipulation and time stop and age manipulation. He has resistance to shape-shifting. He has shape-shifting with his mechanical stuff. He has invisibility, mind control, fire manipulation, resistance to fire. He has weather manipulation, explosion manipulation, gravity manipulation, size shifting, illusions. He can create duplications as well, being able to create replicas of his opponents. He has force field creations. He has multiple weapons. He has lock-on systems. He can use intangible hands. He has resistance to extreme colds and cosmic radiations, along with poison manipulation. He has portal creation. He has homing attacks. He he has levitation, he can drain a planet's life, he has a mind control and brainwash beam, he can negate, or his robots can negate gravity, he can create black holes, he has elemental manipulation, electricity manipulation, lava manipulation, earth manipulation, and omnidirectional shockwave generation, ice manipulation, existence erasure, creation with the egg salamander, he has resistance to space-time erasure, he has healing with the replenisher and other such items, he has statistics amplification via the golden gloves and the speed bar, he has fear manipulation via the spooky charm, he has shield creation, and many of his weapons have already been brought up here, such as the egg robo, the death egg robot, Mecha Sonic, etc, etc. So I think it's clear Bowser has more abilities, so he's by far more versatile. It's just the better abilities, I'm also leaning towards Bowser having plot manipulation, reality warping, and literally everything else I've already brought up, although Dr. Eggman himself does have a lot of broken abilities as well, let it not be said. As for weaknesses for Bowser, when enraged, his durability can drop. He can also sometimes lack the foresight, which causes him to, make mistakes or overlook crucial details within his plan. He's also highly arrogant and narcissistic. He is vulnerable to possession so long as he is unconscious, and he also can't continuously use zone speed technique in rapid succession. As for Eggman, meanwhile, he is immature and short-tempered and also has very little direct combat experience outside of using his machines, so Bowser definitely has more weaknesses and is more vulnerable than Eggman. So then, who wins the fight? We've gathered from this that the stats are basically equal, but you can argue one way or the other. Bowser has better abilities and is more versatile, meanwhile Eggman has better weaponry and is less vulnerable. So, who wins? On paper, this is a very close fight, and I'm inclined to agree, but the thing is, Bowser just has a lot of stuff that can take out Eggman. For starters, both of them can resist many of the things each of them have on each other. For example, Eggman could resist Bowser's fire breath and his gravity manipulation and his time-based powers for the most part. Meanwhile, Bowser can also resist the black hole creations and things like that from Dr. Eggman's machines. The thing is, though, Eggman can't really do much against Bowser being able to warp reality. He could seal Eggman away in his weaker machines, which, by the way, if Eggman starts the fight in one of his weaker machines, he's just getting one shot, and also speed blitz. There's no way about it. He's just gonna get destroyed. Bowser could also, even fight the intangible hands that Eggman has, being able to interact with things that are intangible. Eggman does have the numbers advantage on him, being able to have multiple machines. They're all somewhat on Bowser's level, compared to Bowser just by himself. However, Bowser can summon many things to him, and also, create illusions as well, which could throw them off. Also has power nullification, which could also come in handy. If he's losing, then he can just go back in time to the start of the battle and just win. He has a lot of ways of winning. Hell, he could probably fuse Dr. Eggman into the machine itself and just win that way. And also, not to mention his plot manipulation, his ability to manipulate matter itself. Both of them would resist their abilities to erase them from existence, but realistically, Bowser just has too much for Eggman to really handle. If you argue that Bowser is more powerful than Eggman, it's just an easier victory. If you argue that Bowser is weaker than Eggman, then it's very, Bowser probably still wins, because his hacks is still just too much for Eggman to deal with, not to mention the fact that he can increase his own damage and nullify Eggman's in multiple different ways as well. And there's also the fact that Eggman wouldn't be that much stronger than Bowser in comparison to Bowser being stronger than Eggman, if that makes sense. So overall, I'd argue that Bowser is more likely to beat Dr. Eggman, although you could probably still make arguments for Eggman winning, especially if you argue that he's stronger. But regardless, if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe. They both had a lot to cover, so if I've missed something, then I'm definitely not jumping off of the nearest cliff, and I'll see you next time.